Good morning. Magandang umaga po. Today we're going to talk about the legality and morality of dual citizenship. Somebody told me in my previous episodes that I was being a traitor, that I'm not being loyal to the country where I, made the oath of allegiance to. And let's talk about that. We're going to talk about that so it clears everything up. Okay? Okay, the person I was talking about was someone who viewed my previous episodes of dual citizenship. He was upset to the point of being vulgar and was telling me that I'm being a traitor and so forth and so on. Well, I don't blame him because I went through the same thing. I had to do soul searching and I say, how can I be a dual citizen? The difference is this: I did not stop there. I did some research to find out, does it really make sense to do this? Could I be loyal to two countries at the same time? And I'm going to share with you what I found out. This is the research material I have, where I summarize in 4 pages, and I'm going to read them to you, about the morality and legality of dual citizenship in the United States and the Philippines. Let's talk about the historical background first, okay? It says, dual citizenship was historically disfavored by countries. Very true. In the 19th century, the incidence of dual nationality threatened bilateral relations as countries contested control over individuals. They want individuals to be loyal to them. More recently, a clear majority of countries have come to tolerate and even embrace dual citizenship as advancing the country's policies. Even though dual citizenship creates some challenges, and we're going to talk about that, this acceptance is unlikely to be reversed. Should the individual relationship to the country be an exclusive one? The answer to this question has shifted dramatically in recent decades. Multiple citizenship was once considered an impossibility, an offense to nature, a moral abomination. You were considered a traitor. Today, it is a commonplace in the era of globalization. Times changed, okay? Now, let's talk first about the United States. The United States does not formally recognize dual citizenship. Wow! However, it also has not taken any stand against it, either legally or politically. Typically, no American will forfeit his or her citizenship by undertaking the responsibilities of citizenship in another country. This is true even if the responsibilities include traveling with a foreign passport, voting in another country's election, or running for or servicing in public office of another country. In most cases, it is unimportant to U.S. authorities whether another country also claims you as a citizen. Okay, now, I was thinking as I was going through this, excuse me, how could they be a traitor? Do you watch CNN, MSNBC, NBC, Fox News? Can you imagine what these people are doing? Advancing illegal immigration? And going negative against, let's say, the President of the United States when they're negotiating or when he's negotiating with another foreign country? Now, this is not a political channel, so I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to side Republican, Democrat, Trump, non-Trump, blah, 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 left, right. I don't care about that. But the point is, there is so much negativism and division in the country to the point of being unreasonable. Now, here comes me, an old man who wants to retire and enjoy the benefits of his motherland. I'm not at war with anyone. How could I be so unloyal, and these people who are openly unloyal be loyal? Okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't pretend that you are being loyal by being in the United States, having that oath of allegiance when you became a citizen, and then you watch these people openly negating our own system in the United States. Sad, sad, sad. But that is my point. All I want is to go back home. Now that I'm no longer working and I got the benefit of working in the United States, why not? Okay, why not? And now I just want to enjoy retirement. I'm not going to be in the military. I'm not going to politics. I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, I'm not doing anything wrong. So keep that in mind. Now, in spite of what was said earlier, the loss of U.S. citizenship only occur if a person demonstrates an intent to give up his or her citizenship. Such actions might include serving in the armed forces of a country which is engaged in hostilities against the U.S. I can even join the Philippine military, but the Philippines is not in conflict with the U.S. But once they become in conflict, then we have a problem. You have to make a choice. But while they're working together and everything is hunky-dory, there's nothing wrong with it. So, what they say here is, those engaged in hostilities against the United States. Formally renouncing one's U.S. citizenship in front of a duly authorized U.S. official. So, that's common sense. If you openly say, no, I don't recognize U.S. anymore and I'll be a citizen of another country, that's a different story. But I still recognize the United States. I am still a U.S. citizen. Committing an act of treason against the United States or attempting to or conspiring to overthrow the U.S. government. Holy smokes. That makes sense, but I see this every day. Watch TV, watch CNN, day in and day out. That's an act of treason as far as I'm concerned. Not by being a dual citizen of the Philippines. Although it's rare, some countries will revoke a national citizenship when citizenship is acquired elsewhere. Other countries require renunciation of any prior citizenship as a condition of naturalization. It is important to read the rules of citizenship in each country. Okay, I did this when I became a U.S. citizen. I renounced my Philippine citizenship. I don't know if they still require that today. I just don't know. But Philippines today, if an American goes to the Philippines and become Philippine citizen, they do the same thing. They ask them to renounce it. All right? So I say to myself, what's this dual citizenship? What is going on? That's in conflict. We'll get to that. U.S. law does not mention dual nationality or require a person to choose one nationality over another. A U.S. citizen may naturalize in a foreign country without any risk of his or her U.S. citizenship. However, now it says here, U.S. citizen may naturalize in a foreign country, so they may go to the Philippines without risking being an American, so he's still American. The problem is, when he goes to the Philippines, he will be required to renounce U.S. citizenship. Okay? So, that explains that one. However, persons who acquire a foreign national after age 18 by applying for it may relinquish their U.S. nationality. In order to do so, they will have to apply or make an election and apply for nationality in a foreign country. This is a question I had before. My children, born here in the United States, by default, at age 18, if they do not elect to be a national of another country, they are a U.S. citizen. So if they wanted to be a citizen of the Philippines at that point, they can do so and renounce the citizenship here in the United States. Intent may be shown by a person's statement or conduct. Okay, dual nationals owe allegiance to both United States and the foreign country. See, they recognize that. They're required to obey the laws of both countries, and either country has the right to enforce its law. There could be problems in having dual nationality. Claims of other countries upon U.S. dual nationals often place them in situations where their obligations to one country are in conflict with the laws of the other. In addition, their dual nationality may hamper efforts of the U.S. government to provide consular protection to them when they are abroad, when they are in a country of their second nationality. What this means is, let's say I'm in the Philippines and I committed a crime. Whereas U.S. sometimes would interfere, U.S. cannot interfere because Philippines has an equal right to prosecute me. Not only equal, but sometimes a stronger right because I am there. Okay? So U.S. is not going to interfere, but I don't plan to commit a crime. Okay? I don't know. There may be something I'm missing. Maybe if I realize something that is very important, maybe I'll come back to the U.S. and forget about the Philippines forever. But I have a few years to go. So I'm not worried about those. Yet dual citizenship has been specifically sanctioned, that means permitted, by the United States Supreme Court in 1967. That was over 50 years ago, okay? 52 years to be exact. When the court ruled that the State Department had violated the Constitution when it refused to issue a new passport to a U.S. citizen who had voted in an election in Israel. So somebody elected in Israel and the United States says, I can't give you a passport anymore. You're no longer a U.S. citizen. Well, lawsuits started from that, and in 1967, the Supreme Court said, nope, you cannot do that, United States. The decision overturned the law saying that a person who is a national of the United States, whether by birth or naturalization, shall lose his nationality by voting a political election in a foreign country. So that's no longer good. So since that time, 1967, and that is few years before I came to this country, that has been overturned. Now here is a commentary by Los Angeles Times. There's no question that dual citizenship poses practical problems both for those who possess it and for the government. The U.S. State Department discourages U.S. citizens from retaining or applying for citizenship in another country because dual nationality may limit U.S. government efforts to assist nationals abroad. I explained that if you did something wrong in the Philippines, Philippines has an equal right to you as the United States, so that the U.S. cannot just interfere. The country where a dual national is located generally has a stronger claim to the person's allegiance. The department also warns that dual citizenship can present a security issue whether to permit access to classified information which affects recruitment, employment, and assignment. In some cases, dual citizens can disqualify an applicant for a sensitive position with the CIA or with the State Department. So if you're young and there's a possibility you will work for the government, better not be a dual citizen. But I'm retired, okay? Now, U.S. nationals, including dual nationals, must use a U.S. passport to enter and leave the United States. Dual nationals may also be required by the foreign country to use its passport to enter and leave that country. Use of a foreign passport to travel to or from a country other than the United States is not inconsistent with U.S. law. That means if I travel from U.S. to the Philippines, then while I'm in the Philippines, I go to Vietnam and then come back, I can use the Philippine passport. U.S. is not saying, no, you're supposed to use the U.S. passport. I'm not required to do that. So I can go to Vietnam and come back from Vietnam using strictly Philippine passport. Won't even show my US passport. Now somebody asked me the question and I don't know the answer. Well, what if you went from US to the Philippines? Then you went from Philippines to Vietnam and you used the Philippine passport. Then you come back to the US from Vietnam to the US. What passport do you use? I do not know. I would imagine you will have to use your US passport to enter United States. But in that instance, you're going to have a stamp, or consider it digital if you want, a record showing that you entered the Philippines and you came back from Vietnam. Maybe it's okay, maybe not, I don't know. I do not have an answer to that yet, but as soon as I find out, I'm gonna let you know. Now let's talk about the Philippines. So that was allowed by the dual citizenship is allowed by the United States since 2003. Okay. Now, why does the Philippines allow dual citizenship for foreigners? I think I know the real reason, but I'll talk about that later. Philippines doesn't allow dual citizenship for people who aren't natural-born Filipinos. That means if you're an American, you come to the Philippines, you cannot be dual. And the reason is, just like the United States, they will require you to renounce your U.S. citizenship. That's because you're asked to be entirely loyal to the Philippines if you are a citizen. And this is considered to be incompatible with dual nationality for foreigners at least. Okay? Doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. Theoretically, you must renounce your other nationality when you become a Filipino. If you're taking the Philippine citizenship through naturalization, you have to commit to being loyal to the Philippines, and this is seen as something you simply can't achieve if you're also equally loyal to your place of birth. That means that acting as a de facto dual citizen and holding two passports, for example, could be impossible, but might very well be illegal. It could land you in trouble with both your home country and the Philippine authorities. Take legal advice before you make any decision in this regard. Okay? A child has Philippine citizenship by birth because either the child or the parents are natural-born Filipinos. Then he or she can apply to retain or reinstate the Filipino citizenship at any time. It is possible to hold dual citizenship in this circumstance, so there is no need to choose which citizenship to keep. Okay, when you're from the Philippines, you went for naturalization in the US. Philippines does not require you to renounce it, but the US does. So we did renounce it, and therefore we lost our Philippine citizenship. Okay? Same thing in the Philippines. When you're in the US, you go to the Philippines, they will ask you to renounce your US citizenship. Okay? Now, the difference is, can you now reacquire your US citizenship and become dual in the United States? I do not know. I do not know. But in the Philippines, you lost your citizenship, then you can reacquire your citizenship and become dual. So there's a difference between an original citizen, a natural-born original citizen, and a dual citizen. There is a distinction. Okay? If you gave up your citizenship of the Philippines through naturalization in a foreign country, is there a way to get it back? Yes, since 2003. Okay? So the so-called dual nationality, or dual citizenship, I should say, was changed in the US in 1969. Philippines since 2003, not until 2003, they came up with a law to make it possible to reclaim your Philippine citizenship if you are a natural-born Filipino. Only natural-born Filipino. Okay? That means that you can apply to reinstate your citizenship if you want to, even after naturalizing as a citizen of a different country. If you are a foreign national, in most cases, you will have to live in the Philippines for 10 years before your application to become a citizen can be considered. However, this may be shortened. I think it's about 5 years if you are married to a Filipino or if you have business in the country. Now, this is just my interpretation or my opinion. Why did Philippines come up with this idea of dual nationality? Is it because they're trying to be nice to you? Of course, that's what they will advertise, but I believe it's more an economic reason. They want the US dollars that we have in the United States to be spent in the Philippines. And that is driven by economics, the dollars. The more dollars that comes into the country, the better it is for the country. Very wise move. Okay, but maybe under the pretense of, hey, you can get the benefit here, this is your motherland, blah blah blah, but really they want your money. Okay, which is fine. A country is supposed to do anything and everything that they can that will help the economy of the country, and I get some benefit out of it and they get some benefit out of it, and that's fine. That's what I call a win-win. So hopefully this explains the whole thing, the whole background. As I said, I don't blame those people who said, hey, you're a traitor, why are you applying for citizenship in the Philippines? And I can understand it because I went through the same thing. And by the way, I just want to read this oath of allegiance. This is now what I said when I got my dual citizenship. Okay, I'll read this to you. It's a very short paragraph. It says, I, my name, solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and obey the laws and legal orders promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Philippines, and I hereby declare that I recognize and accept the supreme authority of the Philippines and will maintain true faith and allegiance thereto, and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. It didn't say anything there about giving up my US citizenship. So you have to feel free to sign this paper, and you will have to do this oath that you will be loyal to the Philippines, you will respect their constitution, their laws, their authority, blah blah blah. But it doesn't say you have to give up your US citizenship. Alright? So that's it. If you have any questions, I'll appreciate it if you could put it in the comment below. I try to answer all the questions that I can. And if you like this channel, please do subscribe and share and hit like also, okay? I will talk to you later at a later date, and hopefully another more interesting episode on this channel. Thank you very much and have a good day.